Okay, we're going to look at number 5 on your test review, where we are finding all rational zeros of a function. So this is our problem here. We have x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8. So first thing we want to do when we look at this is see if we can factor the function. And just looking at it, if I factored by grouping, that would become an x minus 5. And I could take a 2 out of there and get x plus 4. So it doesn't look like grouping is going to work. So I need to find the zeros. So to find my first zero, I'm actually going to graph this. So I'm going to come here. Now this website is desmos.com, DESMOS.com. And we can put the function in here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to graph it. So if I graph it, I do x, and then we need an exponent. So x cubed, and then we had minus 5x squared. And then we had plus 2x and plus 8. Oop, that's 7, plus 8. Okay, there we go. So if we look at this function, it does graph nicely for us, and it tells us zeros. And it does actually look like we have 3 very nice zeros on the function, a -1, a 2, and a 4. But let's just pretend for a moment that we can only find one of these zeros. Let's say -1. So I'm going to go back to my function, and I'm going to divide that out synthetically. So I'm going to put a, where is my mouse? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to put a -1 and set it up for synthetic division. So I have a 1, a -5, a +2, and an 8. And then I'm going to draw my line here. Oh, having a little bit of malfunction here. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this back over. All right. Let's fix that too. And we are ready to go. Okay. So we bring down the 1. Then we do 1 times -1, which should give us a -1. Then we have -5 minus 1, -6. Then -6 times -1, +6. 2 plus 6 gives us 8. And 8 times -1 gives us -8. So we get a 0 there. So we have -1 is definitely a 0 for this function. Our next function, we bring it down 1 degree. We have x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Okay, then we take that function, x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. And we take this, we want to solve it. So our goal is to divide it out synthetically until we can get a quadratic function. So in this case, I can factor this function. Can I? Yes. I can do an x minus 4 and an x minus 2 equals 0. And then I can take each of these factors and I can set them equal to 0. So I can do an x equals 4. And then here, I'm going to get x equals 2. So I have 3 zeros. I have -1, I have 4, and I have 2. So those are my zeros. And if I were to write this in factored form, let's see here, we'll write it over here in factored form. I'll just change a color. That would be x minus -1, so x plus 1, and then x minus 4, and x minus 2. And that would be factored form. And we're all done.